All right, welcome to today or this week's lessons. What we're going to be going through is going to be going through 1.7 to 1.12. We're going to be hitting some of the exercises. 1.9, we're actually not going to have anything on because it's dealing with abstraction. Abstraction is basically how do we take something that appears to be complex, getting ready in the morning, and break it down to its steps. Okay, so when we get out of bed, we go to the bathroom, we brush our teeth, so we break it down in steps. So that's going to be 1.9. We're going to talk just briefly about it when we get there. But this is going to be on 1.7 to 1.12. All right, so in this setup, we're looking at 1.7.4. This is how it looks, and this is what it starts with. We're looking at being able to create two towers. So we'll pull up the exercise. So this is how we start. We start with Carol down in the bottom right-hand corner, or bottom left-hand corner. And we need to be able to move, build a tower, move again, and build a tower, and then end with Carol on top. So this is similar to what we're going to be dealing with before. We learned how to do it with functions. So we have our function start built in. Okay. So I'm going to go in and build the functions that I think we'll need. Okay, so I'm going to build a function to actually move Carol and build up. Okay, so I'm going to go function build tower. Okay, now if we build the tower, we need to build a function that also brings Carol down the tower and sets her to where she's ready to go. Okay. And then another function that could be useful is when we go to build this tower, Carol's going to be facing up. So putting in a turnaround function would also probably be good. Okay. So those are three functions that I believe we will need. Okay. Now this is going to be focusing in on, there might be a couple other things. I might put a finish function. Okay. And the reason why I'm talking about a finish function is Carol's going to be over here looking up. And we want to get Carol all the way up and then sitting there. Okay. And we might also need a function for turn right. Okay. So now I'm going to start working on the build tower. Build tower is what we're going to do, and we're going to use the move because we need to move Carol to column 2. And then we're going to do a turn left. Okay, now that should move Carol and then turn her left. You can see by running it, oh, there's nothing in there. Okay, so we need to do a build tower and to call that from our start. Now it's still going to come up with an error because there's no balls there, but that's okay. It's checking to make sure that we have Carol in the right rotation because now we can start putting the ball down. Then we need to move. Move. And then put ball again. Okay, now we're going to check this again. We're going to make sure that it runs right. It places the ball. We should have 3 balls there. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to work on our function for going down. And the first thing that we need to get Carol to do is turn around. So we're going to go and do turn left within our down tower. Okay, so we have our turnaround. So the first function that we need to do, turn around. And then we're going to have a move because that's going to move us from right there to right there. And then we need to go down one more time. So we need another move. And then lastly, we need another turn left. And a move forward. Okay, so let's check ourselves. Let's go ahead and put in a down tower. All right, move, move, move. I'm going to speed Carol up so we can see where we're at. All right, so now we're ready to start building that tower again. So we have our build tower and down tower. Now this one, we don't need Carol to come down. We need Carol to finish. Okay, we need Carol, she'll need to move one more time. And then a turn right. Now the turn right I have not set up yet. So to turn right, we need 3 turn lefts. And now we're going to run this, check to see how Carol does. Speed up just a little bit more. Look at that. Oh, what did I forget to put up there? My finish. And now as we watch Carol go, we see that she's completed her work. We hit our check code. Oh, so some functions finish do not start with a lowercase letter. So it's going to be upset with us because we did a capital for our first one. And we can just update that really quick. And then hit check code again. And we should end up with all of our functions working. All right, so here we are within 8.4 or 1.8.4. We can see that it's still dealing with 2 towers. Okay, well, when we're looking at the towers, we're now looking at being able to do a comment. Okay, providing a comment for other people to come to or explain what our programming is doing. This is a great tool to use and a great tool to understand. When you're dealing with comments, it's usually meaning that you're going to be passing off a problem to another person, and they need to know what's happened so far within the code. What are your functions? Why are you describing them this way? What is their purpose? Okay, and we can see Mr. G's already done this. We got the function. Okay, so start. So in order to do a function, you can see a single line is a double forward slash that's usually found down near your shift on the right hand side. Okay, and you hit that twice, and it'll comment out whatever this line is. You can see this is line 20 for myself. Okay, if you don't know how to get line numbers on there, it's within here. Okay, most of the time it does turn on with line numbers right now. Okay, but line numbers can be turned on within there, and it's this little gear right at the very top. Okay, line numbers, knowing what number you're on, is super helpful when programming. But you can see that all I did was just go through and describe what this one, what each function does. You see down here, makes a right turn function, finishes the code, turns Carol around, brings Carol back down the tower, and then finally builds the towers. Okay, and you can see we can run this. It'll still operate and build it just like we had last time. Okay, we can hit our check code, and it's going to check in here now for a comments. Okay, once when you're done with this and you've added in your comment, make sure to hit submit and continue. All right, we'll see you in the next one. So like I said at the very beginning, we're looking at 193, and this is an example that's going to be working with us. What it's having you do is go through, and it's encouraging you to play with the code and learn how it works. When you're done, click the continue button to the next problem. We're going to explore this example. You can see that there's purposely inner lines in here. We can run this and see what happens. Okay. So we can see that this is actually a pretty complex if you watched how Carol did it. So you progress to the middle one, drop down, and then progress back up. So there's lots of extra code here, okay? So when we're looking at this, it actually pulls in the function for actually building the tower, right? Okay, so while this does the tower, okay, is it the most efficient way to do that? No. What abstraction is going to do is it's going to try to break it down into single line steps. Okay, we need to move Carol over. Okay, we got the move. Okay, now we're right here. What do we need to do here? Well, first, before we do anything else, does there need to be a ball there? Yes. Okay, and it just steps you through right there, and it's making sure your abstraction for this functions in line with what we're looking for on there. Okay. Okay, so now we're on with Super Carol. Super Carol is awesome. She unlocks extra commands. Notice there is now a function that is titled turn right. We no longer have to build that function anymore. Yes, we can see that there's a turnaround function, so we do not have to put that function in there. Awesome. Notice we are still dealing with two towers, so what should we go grab? Okay, notice it did not bring over your code. Okay, so I'm going to jump to lesson 8:4, and you should be able to do this. We should be able to highlight all of our code, hit Control-C to copy it, and we're going to bring it back to 9. We're going to place that in here. Oh, I don't need two functions. Okay, we're going to place that in here, and now what we'll see is that, okay, we don't have to sit there and do the turn right anymore and turn around, so let's comment out our turn right and turn around. Okay, now it's better to comment out than delete, and how we comment out multiple lines is we do a / and then a star. Okay, to close that, we do a star and /. And you can see that as we did that, now anything in between these two is greened out, which means that it's a comment now, and it will not run in the program. Okay, so I'm going to do a / star because we no longer need to make our right hand or right turn. We're going to do a star /. Okay, so that commented out the two spots that we did not need anymore. So now here's the thing is that because we labeled them as turn around and turn right, we are all set up. It should build this. So we're going to run it through. We're going to check to make sure. So we can see Carol did a turn around. We can see Carol did a right turn. Awesome. Because we coded it the right way first time, we no longer had to worry about having to go through and edit the code. Is there some foresight in there that Mr. G had? Yep. Okay. And so that's it for lesson 10 or 110.4. We're going to jump to 11. I'll see you in the next video. All right, in this lesson, we're going to be looking at exercise 1.11.5. This is our first introduction to loops. What we're going to see within here is we need to move Carol forward, and then we need to take away 100 balls. Now, if we were to do this normally without a loop, we would sit there and have to type out take ball 100 times and then move Carol forward. So it's a really inefficient way to do that, and how we make it more efficient is by using a loop. Okay, you can see loops over here in our quick docs. It actually has mounted them over here for us. You can also find them over in your docs over here in the upper right hand corner, and you can click down and you'll find loops. And it has a while loop, examples, for loop, an example, and then there's some other stuff that we have right here. So this is wanting to place a ball and move multiple times. Okay, but what we're going to do right here is we need to be able to step forward, take 100 balls, and then step forward again. Okay, so I'm going to go here and we're going to build our function. Take ball. Okay, now I know I'm going to be calling this, so I'm going to already build it into the start. Okay, and then I'm going to finish this function off. Okay, So what's the first thing that we have to do? I'm going to try to build this within this function alone. So we need to move forward one. Okay. Now I know I'm going to be building a for loop, so I'm going to take this over here and I'm just going to highlight it, hit Control and C at the same time, and then I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to work on some of the formatting for it, and then I'm going to highlight this, and this is where our code's going to go. Okay. Now we need to be able to take balls away. Okay. So I'm going to make sure to put it in our function or our code to be able to take a ball. Okay. And now how many times do I need to do this? I need to do this up to 100. Now for this loop right here, as we're going to be looking at this, and it's a for, okay, and then it's a variable. This is our first introduction to variables, really. We are variabling I, so we are defining I and making sure it's equal to 0, okay? Then we hit a semicolon to separate out, and now we're utilizing that I is less than 100. So as long as I is less than 100, it will keep taking this, okay? And then from there, we're incrementing up I once. So I starts as 0, it's going to go through, okay, down, take ball. Increment I, so I is now 1, I is less than 0, or less than 10, 100, and then we're going to take another ball. I is less than 100 at 2, yep, take ball, okay? And then we're going to go here and we're going to define our next movement because we know that she needs to progress forward one spot, and now we're going to be able to run this code. Okay, oh, function, take balls. Oh, it's because I put in a semicolon after that function. If you put a semicolon right after this function, it will not read what's coming for the rest of it. Okay. So now we're going to check it. We see that it steps in. We can see I is incrementing up. And now we're going to speed Carol up because we know she can go pretty fast right there. So she is counting 50, 60, 70, and she's just keep going until we're hitting 97, 98, 99. I's 100. It's going to kick us out, and it's going to move Carol forward one, and there's our program. All right. I'll look forward to seeing you guys in 12. All right, so right now we're looking at 112.5. Okay, this is our first introduction to what's known as if statements. They are conditions, and what we're seeing is if the condition is true, then do this. If the condition is false, do this. Okay, and so what it's building off of is known as a Boolean. A Boolean is going to be either a true or false, a yes or no. There is no middle ground. It is always going to be a true or false. Okay, so what we're looking at here is we have two different worlds. World has ball true and world has ball false. So this means at the starting position there's going to be a ball there, and what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to check to see if there is a ball. If there is a ball there, move forward. If there isn't a ball there, we want to place a ball, then move forward. Okay, so we're going to get going on this. Okay, so I know over here we're going to be in here. Okay, now I want to go and do a function, and we're going to check to see if the ball's there. Okay, so I built that function. We're ready to go. So we're going to call check ball. Okay, and inside this one, we're going to be looking at this. So it's saying if parenthesis condition is there. Now we need to know what the condition is in order to see if there is a ball that's present. Oh, there is a ball that's present. So we want to check to see if ball is present. Do this. But there is a way to do this, and we can go if no ball present. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to go if, oh, I need to make sure I'm over here typing, if condition, which is no ball present. And what this is going to do is this is going to have a built-in function, so it's already going to go if there is no ball there, do this. If there is a ball there, don't do anything. Okay? Now, if there is no ball present, is true, we want to put ball. If there is a ball there, which would mean this, no ball is present is false, it will not execute this. Okay? And we can see this right here. We're going to put our move up here. Okay? And we're going to run this. So it's going to jump through, no balls present. We notice that it did a false statement there. Okay? So it just moved forward. We're going to jump to change to our other world. And we're going to hit, okay. So notice how there is no ball there. So what this should do is it should check, put the ball, and then move forward. We hit check code, make sure we satisfied everything here. And since they're all green, we hit submit. And this is our lessons for the week. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. These is starting to get into like really good programming sides of it. I'm excited to be hitting this point with you guys. Okay, once we get the understandings of if conditions and loops, it really opens up a lot more good, healthy programming. So I look forward to seeing how you guys do these problems. They'll be due on the 25th, which is a Friday. We will not have school that day, but they are due the 25th. And you guys should see them within your classroom showing up later today. Hopefully, guys, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.